Hi guys, I'm Lorella, not a farm girl on a homestead adventure. In today's market garden update, we're going to talk about our CSA plan. Good morning everyone. The sun is just peeking over the treetops and it's about to get hot out here. So I'm going to get on a hat and get going. But first, let's take a look around the garden. If I can kind of show you. They're not doing so great. Well, they're producing. I've got pea pods on them, but they're kind of falling over and yellow, and I think it's just too hot. I need some shade cloth for them. And I was talking with my friend last night, who also has a garden. And this year has been a weird weather year because it was really cold for a really long time, like into, I want to say April maybe? Yeah, because we're at the end of May, right? We're at June 2nd. So way into April, into May, it was winter-like conditions, like really cold. And then all of a sudden, we had like 1 week of spring weather and then boom, summer. It has just been unbelievably hot. We're having July-like weather. We're still getting rain, which is good, but we're reaching the 90s Fahrenheit. So it's just incredibly hot, and I think it's too hot for my peas. Another thing is, I think I got my peas in a little late, because if you remember, I was pretty late getting everything in. So I'll have to go back and look at the calendar today and my notebook and see when I planted those and when I should have planted them. Because I was really hoping, that they'd climb all the way up this trellis, but that just isn't happening. They're only about yay high. There's also a lot of weed pressure here by the peas, so I think I need to lay more straw down. I think most of these are not ready yet. Hopefully they will get ready. I'll keep going down the line and see what kind of luck I have. So on Tuesday I harvested lettuce, and remember, some of them I chopped off and some of them I cut the outer leaves. We'll harvest some more lettuce this morning and we'll see how they're doing. And I want to remove the plastic from around the watermelon mounds and put hay down there. I have some squash plants that I need to transplant that were given to me, and some other herbs and stuff. Because the dirt that we had brought in is now rock hard, I've got 2 pumpkins, a squash, and a watermelon, and I'm just going to spread them out in this bed that I have. And hopefully they'll go this way, where I have a lot of room, and not that way across the flower bed. It's been a while since I've done a plant by plant update. Let's do it. Bell peppers. Flower mix, yellow squash, and zucchini, lettuce, and tomatoes. Look how much they've grown. Tomatoes on the back side of the cucumber, bush beans, very spotty Swiss chard. Let's see if we can't see one down in there and see how big it is. I can't tell. Where are you, feet? Still under the ground a lot. Let's see, maybe this one out here near the edge. I can't find it. It is a root. Well, never mind. Yellow onions are finally poking up through the ground. Look at this. There we go. We're getting there. Potatoes. My peas are really not doing good. I don't know if it's too much water, too much sun, too many weeds. I just don't know, but it is time to get some more radishes. All right, that one's just like ready to come up. Good morning. 6:45 and still cool outside, but the sun is just about to peek over the treetops. I better get going. So what's on my agenda this morning? Probably more than I can get to. Thinning carrots. I can smell the onions behind me. At first I was like, oh, these carrots smell spicy. No, they don't. I'm growing onions right there. I think I'll save these carrot tops that I thin out and see if the chickens like them. I want to introduce you to the awesome peach tree and the awesome comfrey. They're both clones, and they're not just awesome because peaches are so yummy and comfrey is so good for you. They're awesome because they're clones from the peach tree and comfrey at the awesome homestead. So I'm excited to get those going. The peach tree is in a pot already. So what I'm gonna do with it is basically nothing for now. Just keep it watered, keep an eye on it, and when it comes time to transplant it to its permanent location, I'm going to make it a nice little sign that says the awesome peach tree from the awesome homestead. However, the comfrey needs a little bit more work. It's been in a jar of water now for about a week. There's some roots coming out on the comfrey. So I'm going to put it in some rooting agent and I'm going to plant it in soil. Where am I going to put it? Well, I got kind of some sad news. Do you remember the other day when I transplanted 4 plants, 2 pumpkin, a squash, and a watermelon? And the squash was called the candy squash. It's gone. And that's really sad because that's also from the awesome homestead, and it was supposed to be like the squash that gets really big. I think he said like 4 feet long, and it's just gone. The 2 pumpkins and the watermelon are still there doing fine. The marker for the candy squash is there, but the plant is just gone. I don't know what happened to it. It's so weird. So that's where I'm going to stick the comfrey for now, and then next year I can move it somewhere else if I want to. Well, some of them might do okay. Got this nice green one nestled in between this yellow dying one and this yellow dying one, but maybe I'll be able to get some off of this plant. Look at these! These are so pretty. They're kind of weird shapes. Some of them, they're long instead of round, but they're really pretty, bright pink radish. Before I get to work, let's take a row by row look at what's growing on. Looks like peas are pretty much died out, so I'll come back and collect any that I can. Spinach has gone to seed. I'll dig up what I can, and I'll cover that up with plastic and then come back in and plant something else there. Sunflower's doing good. Rainbow chard looks good. Bush beans are flowering. Got some weeds encroaching on the tomatoes and cucumbers, but they're looking good. All kinds of zucchini flowers under there. You see back there? We'll go get a closer look at that in a minute. The cucumbers are also flowering. Tomatoes need watering and need to be staked. They're getting up there, and I need to do some weeding. Lettuce is looking good among the tomatoes. We'll go get a closer look at that in a minute. Flower bed is doing good. In this row we've got just some artichokes, pumpkin, watermelon pumpkin, and comfrey down at the other end. Maybe comfrey at this end. Comfrey at this end. Just some artichokes at the other. I'm not sure. I hope I labeled them. And bell peppers are looking pretty good. I believe this is chicory. Alright, watermelons are looking great. Look at that, and there's some flowers. We're going to have watermelons soon. This is exciting. Alright, bell peppers. Tomatoes that need staking over here. Even some little tomato flowers. Pretty soon I'm going to have more veggies than I know what to do with. Alright, here's our zucchini and yellow squash, and it's just packed. I'm gonna be digging for days. Yellow squash will be easier to find, I'm sure, than the zucchinis will. Here's another sunflower, and we've got squash vines growing out the fence here. That's okay. I'm just gonna let them encroach on the pasture. This is the Greek red squash. Here are our carrots. Looking good. Onions looking good. Beets looking good. Got some more weed issues going on over here. And what have we got here? Potatoes with weeds. So lots of weeding to take care of in this Missouri Ozarks garden. Something else exciting that I've been working on is our CSA plan. Now I know Curtis Stone says don't ever do a CSA your first year, but I'm doing a tentative CSA or a trial CSA or a, that's not really good, neither one of those are good terms, maybe a inaugural CSA, and I'm opening it up to only 10 customers, and ouch, just got bit by something. I'm opening it up to only 10 customers, and I'm starting with our regular egg customers who have also bought the occasional vegetable from us when we've had excess. So I've been working on that, and I've got a flyer and I've got a web page about ready to go, so we will let you guys take a look at those. Well, that was about an hour's worth of work. Doesn't seem that long on video. I'm wiped out, I'm getting hot, but it's time to go move some pollinators. But first, let's take a look at what we did. The first thing I did was harvest the rest of the radishes and pull the peas out. Cover that with plastic. Once it comes in and dies, I'll go through, I'll dig up any weeds I can, cover it with mulch, replant. I moved some plastic around, I moved some fencing around. This is a spot where I had removed the plastic, and so I mulched that real good. Well, I'm out here filling up water troughs, listening to the ducks play. They found a mud puddle. Where are they? There they are. Hey guys, did you find some water to play in? We got cows on the hillside. We got horses eating over there. And I thought I would just take a minute and talk to you a little bit about our CSA plan for this year. I'll show you the flyer, and probably that's about it. So like I said earlier, we're going to limit it to only 10 customers or fewer to start with, because being my first year growing a market garden, I just don't know how much produce I'm going to get. And that what made it really difficult in deciding what kind of price point we were going to set for it. So we decided, or I guess I decided pretty much unilaterally, Chris was like, whatever you want to do, babe. I decided to do what I'm calling flex pricing for this year. So I grouped our vegetables into things that I expect to do really well with, things I did last year: tomatoes, bell peppers, zucchini, cucumbers, things like that. And those I'm calling our A vegetables. Our B vegetables are things I've never grown before. I don't know what kind of a turnout we're going to have. Carrots, lettuce, watermelon, pumpkin, beets, onions, chard, stuff like that. And so if I have a week where I only have items from our A list, I'm going to charge $15 a bag. If I have both items, A and B items, then it'll be $20 a bag. I am starting with my egg customers first. These are deliveries I'm already making. I try to do them all on the same day, on days I'm already headed in to Springfield for work. I'm delivering kind of local to our area, in our town, and then near where I work. And I decided to do this rather than just set up a table at the local farmers market for me, because I don't anticipate having tons and tons of produce, and there are already established homesteaders, market farmers at our local market, and I don't necessarily want to be in direct competition with them. because this way I will have a weekly income that's pretty much set, that's going to be the same every week, that I can kind of count on, and then I can grow it from there. So just trying to grow real grassroots, word of mouth style like that with customers that I've already got. And I got a lot of stuff coming on in the garden, so I think we're going to start that pretty soon. So let's take a look at the flyer. In addition to the flyer, we also tried to set it up where people could sign up and pay on our webpage. So I'm going to show you a look at that. I don't think I'm going to put a link to it though, because part of it's not working. We paid for a form. I don't know whether it's a plug-in or how it works. Chris maybe will come in here and talk a little bit about the technical part of it, so that people could put out their information and either send us a question or sign up, and it's not working. The email notification is not getting to me at my Plan B email. So there's some technical difficulties going on, and Chris has been kind of back and forth with the developer of the little plug-in thingy. I'm going to call it that. I don't know what it is. The little form. And who was very responsive, and also with the web hosting that we use through, I don't know even what it is, so maybe Chris can explain better, but the form's not working, so that's kind of a bummer. Hopefully we'll get that up and running before too long, or before next season. Well, thanks for coming and hanging out with us this week on our market garden update. And please, as always, leave comments below. You know I love to interact with you guys. I love to hear about what I'm doing. My peas, what happened to my peas? My friend at church says it got too hot too quick. Is that what happened? Let me know. What do you think about our little CSA plan? And anything else you want to talk to me about? It doesn't even have to be garden related. So I guess that's it for today, guys. Thanks as always. Subscribe, thumbs up or thumbs down if you so desire, and share us, and we'll see you on the next go round. I'm almost caught up now. I think I have one more garden video to output the end of this week, and I should be caught up. Today we are going to be planting stuff, harvesting stuff, mulching stuff. That's the same thing we did last week. Let's try again.